Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jata Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitang Dang Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Bhadan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitangscha Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karati Vachalam Bhangolang Hayate Girim Yat Kripatamahang Vande Sri Gurun Dinatarinam Guru Gaura Gandharva Govindang Gringanai Saha Vande Prasadato Yesham Savaramba Sabankara Gaura Bhag Vigraham Vande Gaurangam Gaura Vaibhavam Gaura Sankirtanomatam Gaura Kurunya Sundaram Guru Rupa Harim Gauram Radha Ruchi Ruchavratam Nityam Naumi Navadipe Nama Kirtana Nartanai Srimad Prabhupadamboja Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha Adadanas Dantayari Dam Jache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padamboja Dulisham Janma Janmani Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Himavadivyachtavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. So after taking sannyas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is madly running towards Vrindavan. Kahan Krishna Prananath Murali Badan, Kahan Karun Kahan Ban Brajan Vanandan. The search for Sri Krishna, reality of the beautiful. As Srila Guru Maharaj informs us, in the search there is value. And we will see in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, one thing we learn, in lamentation there is value. And the absence of achievement, the lamentation that comes in the recognition of the absence of achievement, there is value. So there is value in hankering. Guru Maharaj will explain that is at the basis of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he shows the parallel in Vrindavan, that when there is necessity for something, that implies separation, that you've not got that, and the greater the intensity of the necessity, the greater the depth of separation achieved, and the subsequent happiness from union. So he presents the concept of union and separation, saying that the Braja Gopis, it's somewhat astonishing to think, but he's saying his pastimes with the Braja Gopis were for 5 years. It was 125 years of Krishna's manifest pastimes. So it means he's with them for 5 years. So the long and short of it is, they live the bulk of their lives in separation from Krishna. He said, that's why their position is so dignified. We might think that, oh, Krishna was always with the Braja Gopis, and then for a little while he went away somewhere and then he did some things and came back. It's not like that. 5 years with them and the vast amount of time away from them, plunging them in the depths and their hearts in the depths of separation. Whereas Guru Maharaj explains a deeper region of heart is achieved, which yields a superior type of love and affection. Okay? And that is what has captured Krishna, aparam kasyapi prani janamridashukutuki, awakened within him the curiosity to experience the position of Srimati Radharani, particularly what she manifests in separation, when her heart achieves its greatest depth and subsequent expression of love, affection, and which causes the most intense sort of taste and remembrance, ecstatic symptoms. Three, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishobhaneva, to experience the love that she alone possesses. What does that mean? There are so many premic devotees of Krishna. Shanta, Dasya, Rupa Goswami usually starting with Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura, and saying, no, but there's a particular type of Krishna prem that she alone possesses. That he wants to experience. Svadyo yena adbhuta. And the taste, has the greatest tasting capacity. She's the greatest taster of Krishna. That he wants to experience. Tad bhavat, and the sort of ecstasy, Mahabhav Swarupini Radha Thakurani. And when Krishna is telling Radharani about this particular avatar, that she knows the effects that Mahabhav has upon her. And she's thinking, it will be devastating to you. Your soft form will be crushed to the ground. She's thinking what the effects these ecstatic symptoms will have on the divine form of Krishna. That's how she's thinking. And she's thinking, I can't allow that. So that I will envelop you in my embrace. Radha Bhava Duty Subalita. Right? And that way you'll be protected. So, and another way that we can think is that everyone has some concept of like happiness, or extreme happiness, or ecstasy, right? But if you heard that of all of those who've experienced ecstasy, right, that there was this one person who experienced greater ecstasy than anyone else, in all time, all space, all history, all circumstances, right? They experienced a greater ecstasy than anyone else, right? And that ecstasy that they experienced was not only marginally greater than what others experienced, but millions, if not trillions of times a greater ecstasy than anyone has ever experienced. Right? First, that they experienced ecstasy that's greater than anyone else has ever experienced, that should awaken one's curiosity to wonder about that. But if then you hear that, no, it's just not marginally greater than the next person who's in the sequence of the ecstatic, but it's millions and trillions of times greater than whatever anyone else is experiencing. That should awaken someone's curiosity. Right? It awakened Krishna's curiosity. Aparam kasyapi prani janavindasya kutuki. The word kutuki means curiosity. It awakened the curiosity in Krishna. And if someone thinks, well, no, Krishna's omniscient, he knows everything. Now, Krishna, that is true. He understands everything. And in this case, he's revealing theoretically. Why theoretical understanding? Because, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ishvara Paramana Krishna. Right? So, as the supreme enjoyer, he can, in this context, even his omniscience, he's saying, what she's experiencing, I can't properly estimate it from my position as the supreme enjoyer. She's the supreme enjoyed. So the supreme positive is making observations about the supreme negative. And what that is doing, the impact is to awaken in him the curiosity, what it's like to be in her position. That's what it is. So this is unheard of. It's never been described anywhere. It's not in any religion, any scripture, any philosophy in the world. This is unique to the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and as expressed in Chaitanya Lila. And who is revealing this to us? Right. Who can know this? Right. If you have Radha and Krishna, who's the next nearest observer, qualified observer? Right. Radha Mukunda Parasambhava Garma Bindu Nirmanchano Pakarani Kritadeho Laksham Utunga Sohridam Vishesham Vrshat Pragalbam Devim Gunai Sulalitam Lalitam Namami. It must be Lalita Saki. It has to be. The only other person in that position is Radharani herself, who appears in Gaur Leela as Gadadhar Pandit. So it necessarily must be Lalita Saki. And who are her attendants? Rupa and Rati, or Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. And Kabiraj Goswami quoting the very verse I just quoted, Rupa Goswami. So that's a given. But so Lalita Saki is in that position. So it is Lalita Saki who descends in this world and is revealing this information. She's saying, do you know who Mahaprabhu is? Lalita Saki, if you can't, Swarup Damodar is an unknown entity to you, then think, Lalita Saki of Radha and Krishna and Lalita Vishakha. She's descended in this world and she's going to tell you who Mahaprabhu is. She can do that. Sri Gauranumatam Swarupa Viditam. Guru Maharaj Rupa Goswami, Swarupam Bibrano Jagatatulyam. The incomparable Swarup Damodar, Lalita Saki says, who is Gauranga Mahaprabhu? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shakti Razmad Ekat Manavapi Bhuvi Puram Deham Vedam Gadoto. He knows everything. Say, and then Chaitanya, Radha Bhavaduti Subalita Nome Krishna Swarupam. Saying Radha and Krishna, sometimes they're separated as Radha and Krishna, other times they join together. Here they are joined together. That is who is Mahaprabhu. Radha and Krishna combined. Radha Bhava Duti Subalita. Krishna enveloped, as she said, I will not tolerate that your divine form will come crashing to the ground. And I know firsthand what are the effects of Mahabhav, the highest type of Krishna Prem. And I can't, that will happen to you is unthinkable to me. I will envelop you in my embrace. And she is pure, Ladini Shakti. She, Radha Bhava, her heart envelopment, and the radiance of her heart, duty, Radha Bhava duty Subalita. No, Swarup Damodar is saying, that's who, he's that Krishna who's enveloped by the heart and halo of Radharani. It's Krishna, but he's enveloped by her heart and halo. Jiva Goswami, Anta Krishna Behir Gauram Darshitangari Vaibhavam. Anta Krishna, internally Krishna, Bahir Gauram, but externally Gauranga. Right? So only from this position can Krishna have this experience. As Govinda, the enjoyer, he cannot. Because the position of a devotee is not one of enjoyment, but enjoyed. Not one of predominator, but predominated. Not the positive, but the negative. For all these reasons. Right? So, and Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, he's on his way to Puri. Well, he gets some, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like, he said, Jagannath told him to come to Vrindavan. I mean, to Puri. Because he's going toward Vrindavan, and Jagannath is saying, no, really what you want, you'll find, you want me, you're going to find me in Puri. And again, what is that? Separation zenith points. Right? After all those years of separation, the gopis who cannot tolerate a blink of an eye's worth of separation from Krishna seems like a yuga. Atati yad bhavan anikananam tutir yugayate tamapashyatam kutila kundalam shimukam jate yada dikshasam pakshmakridrisham in the Gopi Gita, saying they're cursing Brahma for making eyes that blink. So for them to be separated for so many years, as Mahaprabhu had to leave Navadvip because of the opposition, Krishna had to leave Vrindavan. Where was the opposition? Base in Mathura. He went there to deal with that, Kamsa and his crew, and then afterward realized, no, it's very extensive. There's Jarasandha, there are family, so then from Mathura to Dwarka, so many years of separation. Okay? That means the necessity is becoming greater and greater, and the depth of the necessity is achieving greater and greater depths. So what does Guru Maharaj say? When Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, we all know Vrindavan is for the hollow, shallow thinkers. A man of real bhajan will prefer Kurukshetra. What do you mean? Vrindavan is the land of union, famous for that. He's saying, no, the real treasure to be gained is in where separation reaches its zenith point, and that necessarily means Kurukshetra, where they meet again after so many years of separation. And their standard is so high. What is in the hearts of the Braja Gopis? That they're disappointed with Narayan, according to Rupa Goswami in his famous verse, where Krishna hides himself from them. Why does he do that? To increase the intensity of their necessity for his connection, and pushes out 2 more arms to show 4, and then upon seeing the 4-armed Narayan instead of Krishna, discovering whom they thought was Krishna as Narayan, they give respectful obeisances, and they're thinking, oh, you're Narayan, you're omniscient. Do you know where is Krishna? Can you tell us where is Krishna? In the presence of Narayan, they cannot conceal their disappointment. Rupa Goswami says, Rago Daya Kunchati. Crippled, crushed the rag in their hearts, and rag-crushing disappointment. And Dwarka Krishna, not satisfying to them. They want Shama, Gopa Rup, Gopa Vesh. Krishnera Jateka Kela Sarvatam Naralila Naravapu Tahara Swarup. Gopa Vesh Venukar Navakishore Natavar Naralila Hoyanarup. They want Vrindavan, Jamuna, all the inseparable paraphernalia of Radha and Krishna. In Garga Sangita, when Krishna is announcing the descent in Krishna Lila, we're told that Radharani says, I'm not going unless you bring all of this with us. Means Jamuna, Vrinda, everything. She's saying, not a replica, not a satellite, not an extension, the original. So there are those who are of the opinion in the Prapancha Lila, in these pastimes, that it is the original and the extension is Goloka. So he's on his way to Puri, and we know he will also, after meeting with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, tour South India. So as Krishna goes around defeating the different, in this case we'll call them opposing elements, what does Mahaprabhu do when he goes on his tour? He's defeating all the opposition, all the heads of the different schools of thought. He's converting them to the superiority of his Krishna conception. As Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, means like when Krishna comes, all the avatars assemble within him, right? And so the demon killing, we're told, done by the Vishnu secondary aspect. So remember, Mahaprabhu, we find out in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, as he's gradually beginning to manifest the Bhakti Bhav, still sometimes he's showing the other avatars. As we know, with Murari Gupta, he's showing Varaha. He's showing Nrsingadev, even Baladev, Balaram sometimes, Kurma, Matsya, Buddha. Mahaprabhu shows that he is Buddha. He's revealing that he's Buddha. He meets with the Buddhists on his South Indian tour. They're meeting Buddha. And of course he converts them. But when he reaches South India during the rainy season, we're told that he stays at the house of Venkatabhatta. So, and there's the young Gopal Bhatta. Right, at the time, they're Sri Vaishnavas in the Lakshmi Sampradaya. And Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is there, Astasaki Tunga Vidya. And so Mahaprabhu, in this rainy season, he stays there, right, for 3-4 months. And we're told they're always engaged in Krishna Katha, he and Venkatabhatta, right? Until one day, unexpectedly, Mahaprabhu says to him, the goddess of fortune, she is perfect in every way, Lakshmi Devi, and the most chaste, Lakshmi Narayan. So why does your Lakshmi Devi want to have rasa with my Krishna? That I want to know. And Venkatabhatta, he is super intelligent, super advanced. He's saying, well, from a particular perspective, Krishna and Narayan are the same, like same, but different, right? When you look in and certain, encyclopedia, Wikipedia, whatever, they'll say, Krishna, the 8th incarnation of Vishnu. That's one way of looking at it. To prevent that sort of misunderstanding, Sutta Goswami said, in this list of these 24 avatars that mention Krishna, he's saying they may think that he's just one of them. So he says, Ete cha angsa kalak pungsha Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. All of what I mentioned, their kala, their pungsa, their expansions, their part. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. He's the source of all of them. But in his play, he also appears as one, but yet he is the source of all of them. And what do we hear in the song? Avatar, Gaura Avatar. All of them are within Gauranga Mahaprabhu, right? So, Anyway, Venkatabhatta, that's his response. Krishna, Vishnu, same, so what's the harm? You know, where's the fault in that? Mahaprabhu was saying, well, you know, in the Bhagavatam, there's that sloka, beautiful sloka from the wives of Kaliya. Kasyanu bhavosya chadeva vidmehe tavangri renu sparashadikara yadvanchana sri Lakshmi yadvanchana sri lalanacharat tapo. She performed austerities in the Tapavan for many lifetimes. Yadvanchana sri lalanacharat tapo vidhavrita. Right. So he's saying, they're saying that our husband Kaliya, who just a short time ago was a Surik, now he is decorated with the dust from the holy lotus feet of Krishna. He couldn't get the lotus feet of Krishna. He couldn't separate himself from the lotus feet of Krishna. And Lakshmi Devi, Yadvanchana Sri Lalanacharatapo, Vihaya Kaman Sutitam Vrita. She did austerities in the Tapovan for many lifetimes to get entrance into the Rasa Leela and couldn't get entrance. So he's saying, you say, what's the harm? No fault there. But what I want to know is, then why is she not given admission into those pastimes? Following your line of thought, then why is she not given admission there? She's the goddess of fortune. She can't purchase, with what she has, the sort of wealth she has, she cannot purchase a ticket for the Rasa Leela. Why? And the Dandakaranya Rishis, the Veda Stuti, the Yagyasitas, they were all given entrance. Why not Lakshmi Devi? At that point, Venkatabhatta is realizing this is leaving the realm of human thinking. And Mahaprabhu began to prevent any sort of offensive bewilderment. He's just bewildered in a delightful way. He's telling him that, why? He said, because to enter into these pastimes, two requirements, Gopi Bhav, Gopi Deho. Like we hear Gopal Bhakti Goswami, and it says, Gopi Bhava Rasamrita Dilahari Kalola Magno Muhur. Right? Gopi Bhav. We can say, oh, that means like the mood of the Gopi. It can. Sometimes Guru Maharaj will translate Bhav as mood, but other times, when he pressed further and further and further, he said it means heart. So the heart of the Brajagopi, the outcome is the Deho of Brajagopi, the form of a Brajagopi, which are divine. Every aspect of them is entirely Chinmoy, including their garments, the ornament, everything about them. Right? As the body is the biological expression of the soul's delusion, the Swarup is the spiritual form expression of the dedicating tendency. He's saying, as Lakshmi, just as Krishna, Adi Purusha Govinda cannot relish the position of Srimati Radharani, Lakshmi Devi, as Lakshmi Devi, Aishwarja, majestic aspect to the extreme on the feminine side, cannot enter there in that form. And then he says, Lakshmi Sahasrasata Sambrahma Sevyamanam. But the gopis are Lakshmis. Right? And they're, so don't think offensively about Lakshmi Devi. The gopis are Lakshmis. Well, we're told Radharani's expansion, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhis Tabbirya Eva Nija Rupataya Kalavi Goloka eva navisatya kilatma bhuto, Govinda Maripurusham tamaham bhajami. Her extensions, expansions, the Lakshmis of Vaikuntha, the Mahishigan queens of Dwaraka, and the gopis of Vrindavan. Right. So, all of this was not lost upon the young Gopal Bhatta, who's serving Mahaprabhu in different ways and wanting to join with Mahaprabhu, and told that he really, his seva would be in Vrindavan in connection with Rupa and Sanatan. Right? So he, in Vrindavan, with Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur as uncle, he's there as the certifier, the Brahminical certifier of the authenticity and legitimacy of the Chaitanya avatar. As we're told, societally speaking at that time, Rup, Sanatan, Raghunatha's, their caste is compromised. But Gopal Bhatta Goswami, being a South Indian Sri Vaishnava, there's some particular regard for that. Even in the Bhagavatam, it says the Dakina Desh, South India, will retain its spiritual reputation deep into the Kali Yuga. So, with Gopal Bhatta Goswami giving his stamp, then no one can question it in the society of that time. And we know he's, we're told, madly extracting from the scriptures the evidence, that which gives legitimacy to the Sri Chaitanya avatar and his teachings, and the Archan section, how to properly worship the deities, how to conceive properly. Srila Guru Maharaj, we have in Sri Guru and His Grace, quoting Gopal Bhatta Goswami, saying that that Krishna is saying, if you want to have connection with me, that's not my department. Or he says, Govinda Balabhe Radhe Partye Tramahang Sada. Govinda Balabha, you must approach the greatest lover of Govinda, meaning Srimati Radharani. She can bring you and the deepest connection with Krishna. Right. So, and Radhe Vrindavanadishe Kornamrita Vahini. So many beautiful expressions he's given about Srimati Radharani. And establishing the deity of Radharaman. Being a South Indian Brahmin, he's accustomed to worshipping Shalagram Shila. And we're told he has 12 Shalagrams. And on the Nrsimha Chaturdashi, he's thinking about how out of stone Nrsimhadev appeared because on account of the devotion of Prahlad Maharaj. And he's thinking, like, this is the mood of the great devotees. He's thinking, the Lord will not appear in my stone-like heart. Look how beautiful, how wonderful, how he's reciprocating the devotion of Prahlad coming out of stone. But this stone-like heart, no devotion, no Lord appearing there. And in that mood, he goes to sleep and then is awakened in a vision, Gopal Bhatta. Krishna can't tolerate. When the devotees reach a particular level of desperation, Krishna, he can't take it anymore. When their humility, I've talked about the superconductors of negativity, when they're, if absolute zero is this negativity to the extreme, at that time, superconduction. Right? So, and Guru Tesham Satati Yuktanam Bhajatam, no, what's the other one? Evanu Tesham Vanu Kampartam Ahang Agyanajam Tama Gyanadipena Vashvata. At that time, he reveals himself. And the depths of their separation. Again, these separation zenith points, they keep appearing in different places. That one in Rath Yatra, right? So here, Gopal Bhatta goes and checks his shelagrams and see there is the all charming form of Radharamanji, and then takes the deity happily and installed there and being worshipped to this day. So the separations in is one Kurukshetra, right? The other Uddhava Darshan, the site for the Brahma Gita. Right? So Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. We should also mention Ramachandra Kabiraj, the dear associate of Narottam Thakur today also. And who's his brother? Govinda Kabiraj. What do we know of Govinda Kabiraj? Bhaja Hunre Mana Sri Nandanandana. So that, his brother, Ramachandra Sango Mage, Narottamadas, and the song Yeyani Lo Prema. How much dear, he went to assist Narottam, and we're told, and became like Narottam's best friend, and inseparable, and Narottam's praying in future birth to get his association. How great he is. But so Mahaprabhu, being compelled to go towards Puri, to Jagannath, he reaches Remuna. And what Remun is the place of Gopinath, particularly Kirchur Gopinath. It's very interesting that Kaviraj Goswami gives so much praise to Vrindavan Das Thakur. And he's saying, the Sannyas Leela of Mahaprabhu is described extensively by Vrindavan Das Thakur. I have no such capacity and do not want to ever commit any offense. Vrindavan Das Thakur is the Vyasa of Chaitanya Leela. So what we read or heard from Golden Volcano of Divine Love, Srila Guru Maharaj, so much of that is from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, the details of that. But in Charitamritam, so Kaviraj Goswami will say, so if he's described something, I'll just mention it in a sutra-like form. So if we read in Charitamrita, after taking sannyas, remember the pastimes, really what Kaviraj Goswami wants to tell us comes in the Madhya Leela. The Adi Leela is the foundation, and then in the Madhya Leela, he starts expressing what is unique to the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam. And fearing, because he's astonished himself at what's happening. He's in his 90s, he's legally blind, he's arthritic, and the greatest literature to have ever seen the light of day and all time, all space, and all creations is passing through his pen. So he says that Madan Mohan is compelling me to write these things. But fearing that he may not live. Remember, why is he telling these things? The devotees, at their insistence. These are devotees. We know this Haridas Pandit, like the moon and an assembly of stars, the Chaitanya Bhagavat would descend like rivers of nectar from the moon, nourishing all the stars. So they're all familiar with Chaitanya Bhagavat. It's their life and soul. But what they're hearing from Kabiraj Goswami, what he got from Swarup Damodar, from Raghunath Das Goswami, but Swarup Damodar, Raghunath combined, that flow, the full wealth of the Chaitanya Charitamritam, the incomparable, unique, observational point of view of Swarup Damodar, as recorded in his slokas, is all gifted to Kabiraj Goswami. He's saying the devotees are begging him to write this book, and with divine sanction and inspiration, he proceeds. Still, he's thinking he may not finish. So in the second chapter of the Madhya Lila, he tells everything. And that's what Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj used to quote by heart, Srila Guru Maharaj as well. Pradevidana prema gandhasti dharapi me haro kundami sobhagya haram prakashitam. Mahaprabhu was saying, his heart mirroring the sentiments of the heart of Srimati Radharani, I don't have a scent of the fragrance of Krishna Prem. What to speak of a drop of that divine substance. And the Jagannath Vallabha Natak and other things. So he gives everything there, right? We're told he's dealing with the Chaitanya Charitamrita is primarily the Shesh Leela. Chaitanya Bhagavat is primarily Adi Leela, the early pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Charitamritam is Shesh Leela, the final pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And it's divided into two parts, Madhya and Antya. But it's in this Madhya Leela. So then what is it? He gives all of that, then having done that, giving the seeds of all these different conceptions, which are all separation based. Everything is about separation. Krishna Biraha. Right? Srila Prabhupada says in his section, his purport, and he's saying, if you experience Krishna Viraha, separation from Krishna, you have achieved the prime success of human life. That's what he says. You can say, no, Prabhupada said so many. Yeah, he also said this, that if you can experience Krishna Viraha, feel separation from Krishna, then that you've achieved the prime success of human life. Problem is, we don't feel anything. We have no feeling for that. Na anuraga. Right? So Krishna, who comes, Radha Bhavaduti Subha, enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani, once in a day of Brahma. If Brahma's day is 4,300,000,000 years, then 500 years, it means a moment ago. Mahaprabhu was here a moment ago on this scale of time. Right? Na anurag. We have no feeling for that. Right? But, that's just being honest. But we have the inconceivable good fortune of being connected with those who do have these feelings. And we're told, through service and association, those feelings can be transferred to the heart of the aspiring servitor. Therein lies our hope. So what does he say? After taking sannyas, and we were just at the house of Advaitha Acharya after the 3 days wandering. And then Mother Sachi comes and gives permission, you'll stay in Puri. Now he's headed toward Puri. And so if you read it in Chaitanya Bhagavat, so many places stopped along the way and so many descriptions there, and it's very wonderful. Incredible. There's a section on Shiva and Bhubaneswar where Saraswati Thakur, like, I don't know, 100 verses in glorification of Bhubaneswar and Mahadev Shiva. But Charitamrita, so he knows, Kabiraj Goswami, all these things are described in Chaitanya Bhagavat. It would be an offense on my part to do the same. And it'll mention there that he stopped in Remuna. Right? All these, and that'll be mentioned as well. But now what does Kabiraj Goswami say? Oh, well, in Remuna, this I can say because he left it to be, he said many Vyas will come in the future. In Remuna, there's the deity whose original name was Gopinath and became known as Kirchor Gopinath. Because Kirchor means the Kir thief. Right? So, Mahaprabhu is there with Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda, a few others, and he's telling them the story that he heard from his guru, Ishwarapuri, who is whom? A disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And now we're coming to the salient point. Right? The glories of Madhavendra Puri must be sung to properly understand who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and why he has come. We must understand who is Madhavendra Puri. And we know from what we discussed recently, the Guru, Ishwara Puri, Nityananda, Advaitha, who is it? Haridas, and Paramananda Puri, they're all his disciples. But there's something that's very specific and very important about Madhavendra Puri that will be revealed at the end of this chapter. So Mahaprabhu telling, how did he become known as Kirchor Gopinath? Madhavendra Puri, who was absorbed always in Krishna Prem, didn't eat unless someone offered him something, came upon to Govardhan, and there was just taking Krishna Nam and happy to be in Govardhan, when a little cowherd boy comes to him and says, Puri, what kind of meditation are you doing? He said, some of the ladies who come to get water here from the Govinda Kunda, they saw you here and they sent me with some milk for you, because in my village nobody fasts. So here, please, you take this. I have to go take care of the cows. I'll be back later. Madhavendra Puri, beautiful boy. Cleans the body, waiting for the boy to come back. Boy never returns. That he's just chanting Hare Krishna, falling asleep, taking Krishna, and then Puri, Madhava Puri. And he realized, that boy is Gopal, it's Krishna. And he's saying, I'm nearby in a kunj, and I've been here, and for so long I was hidden when the Malechas came. The devotees hid me in the bushes here, and I'm all dirty and hot and hungry. Please come and get me. And he gets the simple-hearted village people. They go, they get Gopal, clean him up, have an abhishek. So wonderful. Establish him on the top of Govardhan Hill in a little temple. And he institutes the Anakut ceremony. People are offering. He brings 2 Bengali Brahmins. Under their direction, the Seva Puja of Gopal goes on for 2 years wonderfully. And then Gopal appears to him again in a dream and said, my temperature's still not down after all this time. what I really need is a lot of sandalwood, a lot of it, like 40 kilos. That's what kind of heat I'm feeling. He said, so you should go, the Malaya Chandan, the best they have in Puri, you go there, get that, bring that, and give me some relief. That's called Pariksha, being tested. Like sometimes they go, why am I being tested? Whatever our test is nothing. How about walking, 1,000 kilometers to get 40 kilos of sandalwood pulp? Which Madhavendra, and he's old. And he accepts happily. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, whatever so-called, burden of seva is like the ultimate labor of love. That is my happiness, that some seva responsibility has come to me. And he goes there, the long journey, and that brings him to Remuna on his way to Puri. And we're told at one point, I forget, he stops at the house of Advaitha, Shantipur. Yeah, actually it's on the way there. And that's when he initiates Advaita Acharya. So that's also noteworthy. And so in Remuna, she's the beautiful deity of Gopinath. And he finds out that Seva Puja, they have a special preparation. They offer Amrita Keli, which is a type of kheer, which is variously described as either condensed milk or a type of sweet rice, or condensed milk sweet rice with different things, but it's Amrita Keli. It's some extraordinarily wonderful sweet substance appropriate to offer to Krishna, who's Gopinath, the Lord of the Gopis, who are milkmaids. It all makes sense. What are you going to offer to someone named Gopinath? But the milk preparation, it's appropriate. And we should say, though, when Mahaprabhu went there, he gave his dandavats to Gopinath, and Gopinath was wearing a crown of flowers, and it fell from Gopinath's head onto Mahaprabhu's head. So when Mahaprabhu got up, he was very happy, and then he's telling these stories. Maybe with the crown of flowers on his head. So, Madhavendra Puri's thinking, he's always thinking of ways how to improve the seva puja of Gopal. And remember, Gopal was Krishna's grandson, Vajranath, his deity. So, 5,000 years deity. Someone was asking, like about age of deity. 5,000 years, that Gopal. So, who's now Srinath Ji under the Balab Sampradaya group from Bitaleshwar, connected with Rupa Goswami. It's all good, divine pastimes, why he went here, moved there, as Guru said, designed and destined. So, anyway, he's thinking about that care and thinking like, oh, if I could taste some of this and they can show me the recipe, then I can offer to Gopal. But the mind, heart of such a pure devotee saying, always this self, atma samiksha, self-examination, self-scrutiny. He's thinking, on the plea of like, I'll improve the service of Gopal. Really, it's this wicked tongue. I just want to enjoy. What kind of man am I? He's disgusted with himself, goes off in the corner, he's taking Krishna Nam, drifts off into sleep, if he can. And that evening the Gopinath appears to the Pujari and says, I stole one of the pots of kheer. They offer 12 pots of kheer. I stole one of them and hid it under my dhoti. And it's for my devotee. Madhavendra Puri is a great devotee of mine. So I stole this specifically for him. And I want you to take it to him now. And that Pujari, does Pujari kind of things, goes to the deities, find the kheer. So, is there a sannyasi named Madhavapuri? Madhavapuri. Searching, the most fortunate one. And yes, I am that Madhavapuri. Oh, Gopinath stole kheer for you. And he's overwhelmed by Krishna prem. How merciful and wonderful is the Lord. Only Krishna does these kind of things. Takes all the kheer. Keeps, even the pot is worshipable to him. Tadyanam samarchanam. But he realizes that by sunrise everyone's going to know what happened, and the Pratista, the name and fame that will come from this, will be more than I can digest. So in the dead of night he leaves and goes towards Puri. But we're told Pratista in this sense follows the devotee. They cannot escape those who are genuine devotees. Remember, Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda, what's the greatest type of fame? He said, being known to be a devotee. That's why devotees don't claim, they claim to be aspiring servants of devotees, not devotees themselves. Still, it's following him. He can't escape, and Puri, there's that Madhavendra Puri, tells him the story of Gopal. They arrange for the chandan, the sandalwood and camphor, give him the appropriate papers. We're told even when he goes, we worry about our situation. He goes to one border and they confiscate all the sandalwood and the camphor. Then he shows the papers. They also say, oh, this person seems to be so spiritual and wonderful. Oh, all right, everything's in order. By the mercy of Gopal. Then he reaches Ramuna on his way back to Govardhan. Gopal appears to him again in a dream. So pleased with him. He passed the test, of course. And he's saying, Gopinath and I, same, but different. So you give all the sandalwood to the Gopinath Panda servants, and they'll put it on Gopinath, and I'll get relief that way. So of course the Gopinath servitors are very happy to hear that. Madhavendra Puri, they're giving. Right? He stays for some time. So telling this story, Mahaprabhu says to Nityananda, this is why it's increasingly significant. Because otherwise, all right, so it's a wonderful story. Why is Madhavendra Puri being introduced at this point in Chaitanya Charitamritam? It cannot be incidental. Of all those places mentioned by Vrindavan Das Thakur, why is Kabiraj Goswami presenting this? There must be something that is thematically consistent with the internal reason for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's drawing attention to this. So Mahaprabhu says to Nityananda, is there anyone more fortunate than Madhavendra Puri? So we could take that as some polite courteous recognition for the devotion of a particular devotee, or we could take it at face value when Mahaprabhu said, is there anyone who's more fortunate? In other words, there is no one more fortunate than he. Now it's Krishna Chaitanya talking to Nityananda. He's making a determination. He's singling out Madhavendra Puri as possessing something that is unparalleled, that he has some unparalleled good fortune. Right? And telling all these things as the evidence. But what is that unparalleled good fortune? Right? Then we're told, at the time of his passing, why on our calendar is the disappearance of Madhavendra Puri that draws the observance, the honor, this and extensive glorification, is because at that time, so this verse, which is the as the Kaustuba money is the supreme gem, right? The one that decorates the chest of Krishna. So it's the supreme gem of all gems. It's the supreme gem, Kaustuba money on the chest of Krishna. So this, of all poetry, and remember, this poetry is reality. It's not just poetry, it's reality. Right? Is the supreme rasa kavya, the supreme rasa, poetic expression. And what are we told? We just heard about the camphor and and all of that. And what are we told? This verse, like rubbing, the way you rub sandalwood, right? We know it requires some self-dissipation, Guru Maharaj. That's what we learn from. You have to really offer yourself. There's no, half-hearted way to make sandalwood pulp. It has to be full heart. You have to throw everything you have into that, to do that. Similarly, to extract from this poem, so it's the supreme, like it rises like the moon, illuminating everything, and it came from Madhavendra Puri at the time of his passing, just before he left the world. And we're told, and it has originally appeared from the heart of Srimati Radharani. And then from Madhavendra Puri, it is being expressed into this world and being relished by Mahaprabhu, and we're told not a fourth man, right, is qualified. And what is that verse? Ai dina dayadra nata he matura nata kodava lakshase twad hridayam twadaloka kartaram doita brahmyati kim karomyaham. And as I told, and we'll say here, so we just heard not a fourth, but Mahaprabhu, he knows. And who knows the heart of Mahaprabhu? We can say it's known in the heart of Mahaprabhu. Who knows the heart of Mahaprabhu? Who is certified by Mahaprabhu to know the heart of Mahaprabhu? Rupa Goswami. And in acknowledging that, he includes Swarup Damodar, saying, you know, Swarupam Bibranam Jagatatulyam, Sri Gauranumatam Swarupa Viditam. So Mahaprabhu is saying, you know, and I know, how can he know? And he's saying, then it must be that you've revealed it to him by your grace, otherwise it's not possible. So that means Rupanuga. Right? And Gurudev told me, Guru Maharaj explained this to him. And I'm sitting just like a fool listening. You know? And I just felt fortunate enough to hear that. But then a few days before I left, Gurudev said, but I will tell you that, like to continue the thread, he said, I'll tell you this. The key is deen and doya. And that much we can say. Deen means fallen and hopeless, helpless. poor, all those things. And doya means mercy. Doya, merciful. So we're told, in separation, Srimati Radharani is basically saying, if you are not merciful to me, how will I go on? That's the highest? That's the highest thing? Oh, so-and-so, no. It's told here, this is the supreme verse of Rasa Kavya. And what is about? Separation. And in essence, we can say, how to go on in separation from Krishna. And Guru Maharaj is saying, that is the real test of love. The gopis, vast majority of their lives in separation from Krishna. And it only increased their love. And he said, that's why they hold such a noble and dignified position. And as Gurudev said, what is Mahaprabhu? You want to understand the descent of Mahaprabhu? What is his tasting matter? Pidabir navakala kotuta garvasha nirvasano. Sloka of Rupa Goswami saying that Baihe Vishajalahoy Bitare Anandamoy Krishna Premier Adbhuta Charit. That externally, as if one is suffering the effects of having been bitten by a cobra venom, poisoned by a cobra, hemorrhaging, and internally relishing some peculiar, strange, nectarine substance. Right. So, asli shava parvatam panastumam adarshanam marmahadam karotuva. Without seeing you, not having your darshan to go on, when not achieving in Krishna consciousness and not going on. What does Madhavendra Puri say in his famous slogan, Govinda Pada Sriham? Let people say, I've lost my mind, I've joined a cult, I'm irrational. He goes over all the list of the negative things that people might say for someone who's decided to pursue a life of Krishna consciousness. Everyone on the list is there. And then he says beautifully, and add this, that I don't have it. It's one thing you say, I abandoned everything and did all these things to get this. He's saying, no, add to your list that I've not got it. Put that on the list too. And he's saying, but Govinda Pada, but nothing is going to break for me from my determination, my aspiration to serve the holy lotus feet of Govinda. That means Radha Dasya. Nothing will change that. So Guru Maharaj said, if you realize, if you can say honestly, that after all of this, the investment of time, energy, and the pursuit of Krishna consciousness, and you'll say like, I've got nothing, right? But he said, I have no other shelter. I'm not going anywhere. There's nothing else that that is worth me pursuing. I will pursue this despite that. He said, then you might just be a devotee. That's the position of a darshanam, not getting you. I don't abandon you. I don't give up. Or if what was meant for me, you send to another. If that's your happiness, that is my happiness. And Saraswati Thakur said, love and rupture for Krishna. What? He's saying, after me, it's like, this may break apart. It should be together for Krishna or break apart for Krishna. But whatever happens should be for Krishna. That's what he told them. Right? So, Deen, I'm in want, there's necessity, doya. As we told, and I mentioned, and Rameshwar nicely received and enhanced it by mentioning Mahaprabhu, saying that when I told, two things we know for certain, we are fallen souls, and we can embellish that a little bit by saying, and to the degree that we become fallen, Mahaprabhu proportionately becomes more merciful. So there was no one more fallen, and there was no one more merciful. Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurtase Namaha. So we have some hope. Hare Krishna. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Moha. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaitha Chandra. Garadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Echai Gochai Kori Charan Vandan. Jaha Hoite Vignanash Abhishta Puran. Echai Gochai Jar Mui Tarodas. Kansabada Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Kandara Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanebas. Janome More Abilas. Echai Gochai Jabe Braje Koilobas. Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman. Sri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Kori Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamadan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Charja Satar Sadashri Srimad Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Jiyo Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Jiyo Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaitha Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi, Timuna Devi, Bhakti Devi, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pad Vishvavarenya Sri Lesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Vimalavadip Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Sannyasi Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Seva Brinda Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Brinda Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And Maharaj Dandavats from Krishna Mohini Didi, Dhananjay Prabhu Russia, Rasnanda Prabhu Sochi, Braja Bihari Prabhu Ukraine, Ajita Krishna Prabhu and Siberian Bhaktavrinda, Ananda Lila Didi from Brazil, Marian Rodriguez, not initiated yet, Lila Sundar Prabhu Ukraine, Krishna Chandra Prabhu Philippines, Odarya Lila Didi, Kalyani Didi USA, Kshama Budhi Prabhu, Alokananda Didi from Lvov, Tapanindini Didi Mexico, Tunga Rasa Didi, Exegeza Tamas, you know, and Nimai Priye Didi, Ukraine. I'm sorry, Braja Bihari Prabhu from United Kingdom, and the Dandavats from Priyanana's mother, Olga. That's all.
All right. Wonderful. Rasananda Prabhu and Sochi Dandavat. Satya Sutta and Lakshmana Devi Dandavat. Praneshwari Didi Dandavat. Krishna Mohini Didi Dandavat. Goran Nataraj Prabhu in Brazil Dandavat. Parama Bhakti Didi in Brazil Dandavat. Banavi Didi in Roma, Italy Dandavat. Tivana Didi in Krasnodar Dandavat. Tapananandini Didi Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Bhagavan Das Dandavat. Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu in Vrindavan Dandavat. And there's Jamuna's mother, Elena, in Moscow Dandavat. Anjali Dandavat, Dandavat. Lakshmi Priya Didi in Kiev, Dandavat. Chandra Kanti and Sudevi, Dandavat. And Sudevi, like big sister, she visited Mitravinda Devi in the hospital. Very nice. Very proud of her. Tell her Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna. And the Tonks Bhakta Vrinda with Ajita, Dandavat, Ekadashi, and the whole gang. Jagannatha, Sundarananda Prabhu, and Angkor Wat, Dandavat. Tarun and Moscow, Dandavat. Is this Surupa in China? Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Ni hao, Hare Krishna. Where did it go?
Oh, there, third line. Third line.
Right side?
Yeah, right.
That was Surupa, yeah. Okay, and Sushmita. I can't see. All right. Indumukhi. There's Mitravinda, look. Mitravinda's already, she's been attending classes inside her mother for so many months. Now she's outside and still attending. Hare Krishna. We have great hopes for her. She's 5 days old. 5. Hare Krishna. Suleka in Kiev, Dandavat. Madhavi Lata in Odessa, Dandavat. Kamalini Didi, Dandavat. Lila Sundar Prabhu, Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Abhiram Prabhu.
Abhiram Prabhu, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. That is Sushmita. Right, and Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Priyanana's here, Satyabhama Didi in Moscow, Paramananda Prabhu, Govinda Farm, Nadia Priya and Harkiv, Damodar Das, Indumukhi Nityananda's Das is here, Ajitasa and Horse. Huh?
Rasananda from Kiev.
Yes, Rasananda.
Madhavi Lata Didi Odessa.
And yes, Madhavi Lata Didi in Odessa.
And Sulekha Didi Kiev.
Sulekha Didi in Kiev, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Lakshmi Priya Didi in Kiev. Gaur Nataraj, yes, we mentioned him. Is that everyone?
Yes.
Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat to all the Vaishnavas, the 5-day-old Vaishnavas and the older Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. There's Sudevi kissing her mama. All right, you're kissing your mother Vaishnava. Showing love and affection to the Vaishnava. Very good. All right, again and again and again. All right. All right. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama.
Jai Shri Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai.